Hello and welcome to Move Line, presented by SharpStack. Ryan Noonan, joined here as always by Connor Allen. Week 1 in the books, buddy. We are turning the page to week 2, which I always think is such a fascinating exercise in terms of overreaction, underreaction. How we doing?
Good, man. Yeah, are the Colts the best offense in the league, or the Dolphins really that bad? It's somewhere in the
That's true,
middle,
though.
probably. But it's
Right?
like those types of conversations that we get to have. The week 2, I would say even week 2, 3, 4. I think the correct way to do it, which is like what Hunter does, is leverage your preseason priors, your numbers then, and then blend the new numbers and weight them all properly. I don't think either of us necessarily create our own numbers. So I'm not going to look at this year's EPA or success rate or anything that we normally would cite mid-season. And we just need a little bit more under our belt because every match needs to be contextualized. Every stat needs to be contextualized. And right now, I don't think there's just enough context with 1 week.
This is the hard part, right? And then the one part too, still even to your point, I agree with you. It's not just a 1 week thing. It's not just a 2 week thing. Is you start to get into retrospective strength of schedule, and your perception of things change too, right? So it's performances in week 1 are often, through the lens of quarterback play or offensive efficiency. But then you have to start to think about well, how much is that offense related? How much was that the challenges dictated by the opposing defense or the scheme and the matchup of the different. And so it is always really hard in football in general, because we're always going to be dealing with small samples. We're always going to be dealing with uneven samples because just the strength of schedule can vary massively in this type of setting. When you play a team, how strong they were in terms of injuries. These are things that make it really, really hard early in the season. You try to think back of seasons past, think about coming out of week 2 last year. We're like, holy shit, are the Saints one of the best teams in the league? That's the best offense.
Awesome.
What's Kubiak doing? They hang 40 on Dallas, and people thought Dallas's defense was really good. The Bengals are stubbing their toe again, doing their thing, and you just never know. So we're going to try to do our best here to parse through some of that today, make up from down. How do we project moving forward? Some of our biggest takeaways from week 1. How do we, take that information as we look at the week 2 board? Sides and totals, early prop leans in terms of, the matchups and things we're looking at to unpack some of these injuries too. Also want to remind you, if you haven't yet, please check out SharpStack. New suite of betting tools that we have here at 4 for 4, including the EV tool, market-based projections, Pick'em tool, ARB tool, many more. The best odds screens, both games and props that you will find out there. If you want to check out SharpStack, you do so right now for free, 7-day trial. 4for4.com/plans. You'll see the SharpStack. It's the largest one we have. It's all the way to the right. Gets you access to everything that we have on the site too. So if you have a SharpStack subscription, you get the pick sub. So you get all of Connor and I's picks, all the DFS stuff, all the season-long stuff. Again, every article tool that we have on the site. If you use promo code MTL, move the line, you get 25% off. Check it out today. Again, 7-day free trial right now. I cannot beat that. Take advantage. So Move Line's going to be here every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 for 4 live on the YouTube channel, Move Line, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you can join us live, we would appreciate it. Jump in the chat. Let us know what your favorite look is for week 2 or what burned you in week 1. Again, don't forget about Prop Drop on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Connor, Pie Slop. It gets wild. So we appreciate you hanging out there. We love doing that one. So let's get started, Connor. Thoughts on Monday Night Football? I think it was going to be, we talked about it was going to be a very interesting Tuesday morning debrief either way. It seemed to be going to be the J.J. McCarthy is just not the dude. Now we're back to the, Caleb maybe isn't solvable for Ben Johnson. Where are you at in your takeaways on what we saw Monday night?
I mean, there's so much to talk about there because that game was loaded with just different sections of what mattered. So I think starting it off here, high level stuff, the Bears looked great in their scripted plays. Caleb was going through his reads, then checking the ball down a lot, which I think seemed normal. Flores kind of seemed to be feeling it out a little bit. And then when they were non-scripted, started sending some heat, and Caleb just couldn't hang at times, wasn't getting it done. That being said, they had a good drive. They're up 7-3, 4th and 3 on the opposing 30, and they go for it, and they don't get it. And instead of kicking a field goal, that field goal obviously very important. And then, they miss a field goal later. At the end, Cairo Santos not kicking the ball out of the end zone or out of bounds is just I was yelling. I'm not even like a Bears fan. I was yelling at my TV. I was like, this is infuriating to watch because you just got to kick it as hard as you can. He should be able to kick it out of the end zone. I'm pretty sure that he can. Or out of bounds.
I can't imagine there's any kicker that can't kick it out of the end zone. Like, and you just have to know time and situation. Like, it's like sports 101. Like, you have to know time and situation.
Cut.
Yeah.
He should be cut. Honestly, I'm trading.
But that's the thing too, right? Is that on the special teams coach? Is that not like clearly explained? Like, here's what we have to do right now. Like, we have to maintain the 2-minute warning. It's interesting.
Ben Johnson said that he very clearly told Carlos Santos to kick the ball out of, whatever. And he's giving me shit here. Okay, Kurt Warner, Connor, take the points out. No, I mean, you're up 4. It's 4th and 3. Like, your defense was playing really well at the time. I think you definitely take the points there. I don't know. Maybe the numbers don't agree with that, but that's I would bet it's pretty close at that point in the game, considering it was a 4-point game, So I just overall takeaway though, like I thought JJ McCarthy looked legit awful for a long time, settled in, started playing a little bit better. Still not super convinced that he's like awesome. But I don't know, fine takeaway at the end. Where did you end up on him?
Yeah, I mean, I was getting annoyed during the game because I hate this. I know we do it. We're guilty of it. We're just so quick to want to label binary outcomes on whatever we're watching. And it's like, it's either good or bad. You're either awesome or you suck. And like, it's his first game. It's his first game. His first game on the road, hometown, extra pressure. Like, we knew these things coming in. We just settled down a little bit. He's missing his left tackle. Like, there's just the fact that we needed to have an answer and it was so quick to be like, this ain't it. Like, we just gotta, the Vikings are taking on water. Like, what are we doing? Let's get out of any of our preseason priors on the Vikings. Just like, holy shit, can we get to the third quarter? And like, let's just settle down. There's a lot of bad quarterback play in week 1, really outside of Sunday Night Football, which is electric. It was a lot of bad football in week 1 as an extended preseason, even more and more teams having fewer actual starter reps. Again, good move overall, losing the 4th preseason game, but we used to see a lot of, like gradual reps in maybe week 1, week 2, a pretty good amount of reps in week 3 in the preseason, and then pretty much no starters would play in week 4 unless you were trying to make a team. And now we've sucked that out, and week 1 sometimes looks like a preseason game. So I don't know. I'm bullish on JJ McCarthy moving forward. I think he's going to be like serviceable or beyond for this season on a really good Vikings roster with, a coaching staff that I think we think very highly of. So like, my priors don't change. I think Minnesota's I think Minnesota's a playoff team. So I'll stay there. I'm not going to be wishy-washy with it. I think Minnesota's a playoff team. So I think JJ's going to be fine. When they get everyone back, I think they're going to be interesting. So the Bears thing is interesting too. I mean, I think we saw some exciting stuff, like you said, early in the scripted stuff. I think, leaned on a little bit of mobility. There's some floaters at times from Caleb that look a little bit questionable. But again, I think we believe in Ben Johnson too. So I'm not ready to write off the Bears, who were playing also a little shorthanded, especially defensively.
Yeah, like that was my biggest takeaway too, is like when you put it in the context of, okay, we think this Vikings defense is pretty good. They're aggressive. They're fun. Like, it's not like a cakewalk for Caleb, right? So like, I think that there's definitely should be some forgiveness in terms of like, okay, he wasn't all that good. He missed some throws. The DJ Moore one was really bad. He was late and overthrew him. But on the other hand, like JJ McCarthy was, throwing against, Nahshon Wright. Did you know who that was? Like, that was like, these guys are like 4th and 5th strings corners when you got when you're missing Kyler and Jalen Johnson, and they still played pretty well, I think, for the most part, which I think is more of a testament to Dennis Allen, right? Like that was another takeaway for me. It was like, all right, Dennis Allen's probably a pretty good defensive coordinator. Yeah.
I actually wanted them to be more aggressive early versus McCarthy too. Like send him some blitzes and different things taken on. He just seemed to be a little bit conservative. So yeah, I think you make a great point. The Flores scheme is just, again, they've had X amount of months to plan for it. So it's not like they were surprised that they were playing Minnesota in week 1, but it is unique, right? It's not like any other scheme that they're going to face all year, right? It's zone heavy. and they blitz from all over the place. And sometimes it's easier against the blitz where if it's man behind it, where you're going to find one-on-one matchups, so you can early pre-snap diagnose where the one-on-one is, or come get in that second and a half, where you can take a shot. Sometimes zone, you need your receiver needs a little bit more time to sit, find those spots. You have to read, is he sitting in the zone? Is he going to continue his route? So that's kind of another reason why the Flores thing is a little bit harder to do if you aren't necessarily super good pre-snap, or even in that second and a half that you get post-snap. So yeah, it's a tricky matchup. So I want to have some grace for Caleb too. Again, partially just buying in Ben Johnson, being able to figure this out with such a amount of talent that they have on the offensive side.
Yep. And I mean, I think that loss is very much on, Ben Johnson for not taking the points, Cairo Santos for just being trash, and Caleb for not playing well enough, honestly. So it's like a combo of those three, in my opinion, at this point. But I think that they're going to be like, I would expect a lot of these games from the Bears where they're close, they're in the game. It could go either way. That's, at least in my opinion, I envision them as a team that's going to keep just probably a lot of games close like this and be competitive.
Yeah, I agree. Caleb wasn't good enough. He's going to have to be better, but I don't think it's an indictment on, the entirety of the season. So, we'll have some good, that division is fascinating. We thought it was going to be, and I think it's going to continue to be. So
Lions week 2, I don't know if that's a good segue there, but Lions week 2 is an interesting one.
It is. So, right. So Lions week 2, we're looking at, where are we at now? There's actually bookmakers a little bit off market. I don't know if it's just the odd screen is a little bit weird at 4.5. Here's 5.5, even 6s in some spots on this game. Let me see where we're at right now. So the Bears are on the road in Detroit. Yeah. So 5.5, we're moving Detroit side 6s. So yeah, never mind. That's the bookmaker one moved. So yeah, what do you think about that movement here? We were at 4.5. We moved out to a full 6 basically on the Lions.
We talked with Mayo that pre-show on Monday, it was 4.5, you said. I thought it could have moved even more in favor of the Bears if they had continued their kind of resounding win over the Vikings. The Lions coming off one of the worst performances I can remember in the last couple of years, honestly, offensively and defensively. Now we're up to Lions -6. I want to continue fading the Lions. I was so unimpressed. Someone tweeted out a chart of teams' motion rates versus play action rates. It was the Lions fall into the category of they did a lot of play action, which is good, but they were one of the lower end motion rate teams as well. So that's not a good sign. Again, when you're just leaving your guys on islands, when Jared Goff does not have stuff kind of fed to him, when you run the ball, they had the lowest pass rate in the league last week, despite losing. I think they were trailed the entire game. No, I think they were losing, except for when they were tied at the beginning, but then they were losing the entire game. So I don't know, man. I was really surprised. I was disappointed, and maybe I'm just confirming my priors against the Packers defense. That's probably pretty good, but it was not pretty.
No, it was not pretty. A lot of garbage time that is kind of padded the stats that make it look a little bit better with Goff's completion percentage over expectation. A lot of dunk downs. What it's 10 receptions for Jahmyr Gibbs, which is interesting. I was looking at some of the motion stuff this morning. I'm trying to find where I had it. But yeah, I did see that they were down there. I saw the Patriots were down there as well, which is discouraging. Pre-snap motion is not. Come on, Josh, let's go. Let's moving around a little bit, a little play action, a little pre-snap motion. Yeah, fascinating game because again, one of these teams is starting 0-2, and both those losses are coming in the division. It's going to be really hard to make up considering, I think, what we thought of the Packers coming into the season. They have a chance to start 2-0 again with a leg up in the division there too. So, obviously the Vikings getting one and getting a division win as well. So yeah, it becomes again, not a must win, but a pretty seismic game in terms of the impact in that division and the thought process of a playoff team. So I'm kind of with you. The 6 points seems a little bit like an overreaction. I don't want to make more of it than it is. I mean, it's your first year as a head coach. Every game is going to be super important to the Bears and to Ben Johnson. It's got to be a Super Bowl, right? He's got to be absolutely ready to go for what's coming. And again, he's not going up against Dan Campbell. He's not going up against Aaron Glenn's defense necessarily, but he knows where the tendencies are, where the situations to exploit are. And one of the key injury notes heading into the week, I think, is Terrion Arnold, who's dinged up perimeter corner for the Lions, who matters for them, definitely their best corner. And they still are a little weak at corner, especially in the perimeter. And if Arnold is out, again, there's a lack of pass rush still in Detroit. The fact that they didn't go out and bring Zadarius Smith back in allowed the Eagles to take advantage of that, let him sit out there. That's actually one of the major loopholes. I heard Sam Monson talking about this. So like teams that if you sign these free agents that were released prior to week 1, their full salary is guaranteed. If you sign them after week 1 starts, Thursday night game, after it starts, you're not on the hook for the entire their salary. So the teams that play Thursday night have a huge edge. You get like a 3-day edge against these other teams who haven't started their week 1 yet, to sign the guy and not take on that full salary. And the Eagles, who aren't going to miss a loophole in terms of roster building, go out and add Zadarius Smith, who was really good last year, who would have fit really well for the Lions to come real back, or back and work opposite of Hutch there. So yeah, the Bears. It's not something I'm jumping, but I mean, if this continues to steam out, pro Lions, I don't know, 6.5.
I mean, 6.5. I'd be surprised if it got there at this point. We're seeing some 5.5 FanDuel circa. I would guess it probably sits in the dead zone, to be honest. But it's early. You never know. It's early.
Yeah. It's definitely one to watch in one of the, I think, highlights of the week. I want to give you this list. I want you to tell me what jumps out at you. And any, take it anywhere you want it. We can take, dive into each of these, but these are based on completion percentage over expectation. These are week 1, the bottom of the week 1 QB performances. Bottom tie for both Caleb Williams and Bryce Young, 13.2% completion percentage over expectation. Not great. Russ, not too far behind, negative 12.7. Cam Ward, tough matchup on the road for rookie debut, minus 10.5. Patrick Mahomes, minus 7.9% completion percentage over expectation. Tough scene for the tune-on crowd, minus 7.4% for Tua against a vaunted Colts defense. And then Trevor Lawrence, negative 5.9% against the Panthers defense there. What jumps out? What's noise? What signal? What scares you? What are you kind of throwing to the wayside for week 1?
Yeah, I mean, the Caleb stuff's not good. Bryce Young stuff especially is really, I mean, that's really bad, especially after we saw him take a step forward last year at the end of the year. I'm a little bit worried about this Panthers offense in a game that I thought could have been pretty high scoring back and forth. Russell Wilson, I mean, I think it's over. Like we talked about a preseason. He wasn't committal on like week 2 status. They are going to start him in week 2. But that's like, if they're already wavering, I mean, they're going to lose the next 3 games. I think what do they have? Kansas City, or they have Dallas, Kansas City, and the Chargers the next 3 weeks, and then New Orleans. So they're going to lose all those games. And so we're going to see, I would guess that we see Jackson Dart week 5 or sooner week 5 against the Saints. We talked about it, 20 times on the show. I think that's like a great first game for Jackson Dart, who could be fun. Russell Wilson was legitimately awful. So I think that was, again, that's fleshed out in the numbers. Cam Ward, I'm ready to give a pass to. I don't think that's like I just don't think we should be like all in on like, oh, Cam Ward sucks. I think the coaching staff's a little bit, the scheme isn't great, but there's not a bunch of great players. But now you get the Rams. I mean, the Rams got some wagons up front too. So like it might be tough for the Titans as well. Like I don't think this is like a cupcake matchup to fall into. I don't know. So
JC Latham maybe, not, we have to get his injury status, but I think he left early in that week 1 game too. I actually rewatched the Cam Ward stuff.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I actually didn't think he was that bad. I think he made some plays. He actually showed, again, he's not like necessarily like he's not immobile, but like he showed, I think, a better pocket presence than I was expecting. It's a really good defense he was up against, right? In a tough spot. Denver, September, that trend is like 20 years deep, regardless of how good Denver is. It's a really tough road spot to start your season. I think his guys let him down. Like I think there was some Calvin Ridley drops. I think there's reasons to be optimistic there that there could be some good ball in there coming soon.
I kind of agree. I think Yeah, again, but is it this week against the Rams?
I don't think it's this week. Yeah,
I don't think it's this week either. Like, I don't know who else what's the rest of their schedule look like? Like, there's going to be a great buy low period on Cam Ward and the Titans. Okay, they get the Colts the week after, then the Texans. That's another tough one. But then they have like Cardinals, Raiders, Pats. So it like opens up a little bit. Like,
yep.
I mean, most of those are decent defenses, but they're not going to be like, again, not facing the Broncos.
Right. Yeah, especially up front, the ability to get pressure. Like if he has a little bit more time, that's going to help him a little bit. See, I'm with you. I'm giving him a pass, and again, open to being optimistic on Cam Ward in the future.
Did you see the domestic violence charges came out against Tyreek this morning too? Like, I think there's potential he could be commissioner's exempt. He was already crashing out on the sideline like mid-game. I think the Dolphins just might be done. Like, it's just over, I think, for Tua and the Dolphins, which sounds doomsday-ish, but it's kind of what we saw last year a little bit. And now if we're getting, Tyreek not full health, not playing all that well, and crashing out, maybe gone. Waddle got banged up. The offensive line still sucks. The defense really sucks. It's a tough blend.
It's tough. I mean, I don't want to say so I'll cover my ass and say allegedly. I believe he kicked his pregnant girlfriend in the stomach in college, right? Like, so. I don't even think that's allegedly. I'm pretty sure that was.
No, yeah, I think he pushed her downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah,
both suck. So
I mean, awful. That's why he went in the third round, right? He was like a third rounder. He played at some like random JUCO, I think, his senior year because he got like kicked out of school and like was playing there and then got drafted in the third round by the Chiefs. Yeah,
correct. So this is actually where I wanted to take this because the commissioner exemplis, all these things, how the league sometimes moves a little slow on some of these things, like especially when it becomes legal proceedings. And this is, I think, in discovery, in a divorce settlement or whatever's going on. So, there's a little bit more time for that to shake out. It's at least a little bit slow. But you know who loves rostering guys that just got arrested? Or the Kansas City Chiefs absolutely right. This is Silva's bit, right? Like, the Chiefs will take on all those guys. And like, who's down bad at receiver right now? Kansas City. They could totally use, I think we're going to get some discussion on that regardless. So, punching your soon to be ex-wife. I mean,
one-way ticket out of Miami, apparently.
Someone rolled the red carpet for that.
Someone tweeted about the Chiefs having interest in them too, in Tyreek too. I mean, I think that makes a ton of sense, especially if the Dolphins might be, just closing up shop here pretty soon. I think that could make a lot of sense. I think the question would be like I'm sure the Chiefs would want to know, like, is he going to get suspended this year or like what does that look like? But I mean, hey, a full strength lineup with like Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and Tyreek and Hollywood and whatever we got left to Kelsey. It's kind of crazy.
Could be interesting. Yeah. I mean, look, can he cover the Rashee Rice suspension, right? Just let's get him in for 6 games, get him suspended for 6 games.
Yep.
Worthy's back. By the time you get to November, early December, everyone's back and you figure out what you got left for the playoffs. So it sucks. Not a great schedule. I know we're like joking about it, but I mean, it's pretty fucking terrible. And
it's awful. Real quick too on Lawrence, Ian Hartitz tweeted this out. 2 noticeable Jaguars offense changes with Liam Cohen. Pre-snap motion, 24-4 Jags were 3rd most static. 63% motion rate in week 1 of this year, which is like 8th best. So it was like one of the biggest increases in the NFL. And then they jumped in terms of screens from like 6.5% to 11% as well. So I don't know, some good things going there. Trevor Lawrence, I think, just has to play better. Like Caleb Williams has to play better. Liam Cohen in his presser broke down like all of the reasons Brian Thomas didn't get the ball. I don't know if you saw that presser, but it was like Trevor missed a throw here. Trevor threw it too short here. We missed him on a crosser here. And it was bad. Liam Cohen, inadvertently was basically just tossing Trevor right under the bus.
Dang. Yeah. 77.4%. They were behind only the Rams and the Niners in pre-snap motion for week 1, which is, definitely just to see. The bottom teams, Tennessee, comfortably the worst, 21.4%. We don't have the Monday night stuff yet. And New England right behind at 28.3. So not great.
McDaniel's washed.
Yeah, it's just the it's just the easy buttons, right? Like we have so much data now, knowing that like it just helps pre-snap motion. Again, both from it allows your quarterback to predetermine what the defense is doing a little bit. It just creates a little bit more chaos pre-snap for the defense. Just do it. Just do it. I don't know what we're doing it sub 50%. It's pretty wild at this point. So not great. So again, like we touched on a little bit yesterday with Mayo, like it's week 1. I want to overreact to it, but like that's the low hanging fruit. Panthers coming to town, home game. Like you got to take advantage of that for Trevor Lawrence, who we just continue to find ways to make excuses for. He's just, he plays injured. He's been hurt a bunch, but you got to start to piece it together with a coordinator that seems to kind of have the magic touch with a lot of different quarterbacks. Pretty solid weapons, improved offensive line. So that's another fascinating one with the Jags going to Cincinnati in week 2. Cincinnati's 3.5-point favorites at home. They obviously didn't get off to the start that we would have expected offensively there. Their defense held on. They should have lost that football game if the Browns could get any semblance of a kicking game going. They played some really good defense in the second half. They've seemed to have Burrow's number, but those games have been closer in this Burrow Bengals era, regardless of what's going on with the Browns offensively. So what do you make of that 3.5 in Cincinnati with Jacksonville?
Yeah, total was interesting to me because, like, on paper, you think about it coming into the year, like, oh, this game should be just like hot, like Jags are cooking, Bengals defense isn't that good. Bengals offense can obviously just like exploit anyone. The Jags defense shouldn't be that good. 49.5, again, I think if both teams had played better, we're looking at like a total in 52, 53, something like that. That could make a lot of sense. Now we're 49.5. But that being said, like, I don't have that much confidence that this game is going to shoot out anymore. Like, I know it's going to be talked about a ton. It's like, oh, the shootout, like this is going to be the best game of the week. I mean, would it be that surprising if they just like face plan? It's like 23-20 or something like that, and it's like not that exciting in a game. I don't know. Like Jags didn't play that well. Bengals didn't play that well. I know both their defenses aren't that good, but still, the offenses just didn't play that well.
They got bet down a little bit because we had a 51 in the look aheads and mostly 50.5. So we've already taken a little bit of under money. Yeah. I mean, this is tricky where it's like, how much do we hang on to preseason priors? And I think we should probably hang on more to preseason priors than one game.
For sure.
But it definitely feels like a spot where there should be some back and forth, right? Our concerns, I think, about these teams coming into the season were probably more defensively than, than anything on the offensive side. So it will be interesting to see where that money moves here on a Tuesday. See if we continue to trend down or if we get to a spot where there's some buyback on the over, because now we're starting to work into some, second tier of key numbers in terms of where that one is. So
bet like over 59.5 instead of 49.5. I just like this game could get real hot.
Agreed.
Like it could be crazy if things are clicking, but it could also just not be. So, which is, I know it's like, middling my take there, but I think that the upside is insane.
Yeah, but you were going to probably get 450 or 5-1 on something that's, 10 points. When you get pushing, you're talking about getting to 60, right? You're probably going to get a pretty decent price on something like that, right? You're not talking about betting it in a minus 110. You're talking about taking some upside, right? So totally different. Yeah. Chasing up a little bit. I want to highlight some key injuries. Brock Purdy's an interesting one. Sounds like he's like legit game time decision, dealing with a left shoulder, so non-throwing shoulder and a toe injury. Sounds like he's not going to practice at all this week. They are on the road against the Saints. We moved it all there. I believe it was 7. It looks like we're
down to 4.5.
Okay. So that's legit. Mac Jones on deck. Obviously a boatload of other injury issues in San Francisco. So it's not just Brock Purdy. It's obviously George Kittle out. We don't know about Jawan Jennings. His status isn't great. The shoulder seems to be a real cause for concern. CMC is not someone we have to worry about. He seemed to be fine. Trent Williams is fine. But what do you think here? I mean, 4.5. Saints team's not very good.
I mean, they can start Mac Jones, and I think they win by a touchdown. Like this is like their way. They can go out there. Purdy can be playing on one leg. Just hand the ball off to CMC a bunch. I mean, this defense looked pretty nasty at times last week. And again, this Saints offense is Yeah, not good. Like Radler threw the ball a bunch last week. I think kind of found, some rhythm, I guess, per se, but they couldn't capitalize a lot. Kamara looked good as always, but again, it's just like, it's nothing exciting. It's nothing interesting. I think the Niners could really just like put a real number on this team here against Saints, even with Mac Jones. I think it could be okay. So I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes. Maybe some more negative Purdy news might move it even more. Like a 4, I think, is pretty interesting here. Honestly, a 3.5 would be pretty solid on the Niners, even with Purdy's injury status up in the air. Also, like a prop look there, like pass attempts under, I think would be really interesting for the Niners. Because again, if they do throw, I think it'll be efficient. If not, like I think they could just jam the ball like 30 times for CMC.
Yeah. I mean, look, CMC got so many touches last week. Like Brian Robinson still got like what, 8-10 touches as well. So like, yeah, I think that's a good call. The Mac Jones under prop look could be a thing. I'm with you. Like I think 4.5, 3.5 would be 3.5 would be kind of a smash, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we mentioned too, like, the Seahawks defense is good. So like, yes, the Niners offense didn't look amazing, but they were playing, Juwan Jennings got hurt. George Kittle got hurt. Ricky Pearsall was basically the only able body left catching balls.
For sure.
And then it was just CMC. So like, and against a really good Seahawks defense. So I don't think we can overreact too much to that at all. If anything, I think it's almost encouraging that they still ended up winning and like looked okay.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to watch that one again. It seems to be the market is, you made a move there. This is interesting to me. You're like, we started doing this 8 years ago. This game's off the board.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's not even posted. Yeah. It's just off. It's a huge, they're not even going to risk taking, a possible middle opportunity. If this, we get Purdy news, this was again, pre-flop 7. Why would we not go back to 7? I mean, I know that Kittle matters, but 6.5, I don't know. It's interesting to me that these get posted regularly with quarterback injury news. And that was really never the case in years past.
It's great. Download Bleacher Nation Fantasy app, get the injury news before everyone else, if he's in or out, and then just, I don't know, hit the slowest moving line, wherever that is for you, that you have available. Yeah. So there's a bunch of them. And then you can get a couple points of CLV. You can buy back the other way. You can do whatever. Some books will let you just cash out. So you can make like whatever, a couple bucks just like for free if you really want. So, it's an easy way to make money. I saw some people actually talking about this on Twitter the other day about how, I don't know, some people were like poo-pooing like injury betting. And I just thought it was like the dumbest argument ever. I was like, yeah, it was like, you should beat books the real way. I was like, what do you mean? Like, this is like, what do you mean the real way? Like, like betting sides and totals at close, or like making sure that the bookmaker has all the information. Like, no, take them for what they're worth. Like, fuck them. Like, what are we doing here? Like, get in good, and then get out. Like that. I just like, I thought that was baffling. And there was a couple of people supporting this person. And I was like, I need to get off here before I start, making the, like starting chirping to these people. Cause there's some real dumb comments on that, to be honest.
That's insane to me. Like, I just don't understand the bravado behind that. Like, do they give you like 1.5x on like your money? Cause you
give like, it's the Obama, like meme of him giving himself a medal. It's like that. That's exactly what you get. You get nothing for waiting. Maybe in your little, circle jerk, like sports betting community, you can talk about how you're just that much better because you don't bet those things and you still win. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. That's good job.
I'm trying to fill my accounts, guys. Like, I'm trying to withdraw, never deposit, withdraw again. There's no like false valor in trying to. Yeah,
in this economy too, man. Every dollar matters.
Right? Man, the tariffs, inflation's a real thing. That's crazy. Falcons wide receiver injuries, I think we have to monitor. I don't know. I feel like they probably both go with a little Drake London shoulder issue. Yeah. It seemed like Darnell Mooney was pretty close to going last week. So I want to see what's going on with those guys. Same thing in the Bears corners. It seemed like they were close to go. I don't know how close TJ Edwards was to actually playing. But the Bears corners both seem to like actually be game time decisions. I want to see what's going on there. I mentioned Terrion Arnold. We have some corner issues in Indy. Indy's hosting Denver. the next one I want to talk about here. Shavarius Ward, concussion protocol, came in Monday after the fact and said he had concussion symptoms. They put him in the protocol. That seems like he's not playing, right? That's
not good. Yeah.
That's not even like a Sunday, we pulled you out of the game, let's see how it is. We're starting the protocol a day late with delayed symptoms. Not great. Jalen Jones also dinged up in that game. Denver goes to Indy 2.5. Hey, look, does Indy have the best defense in the league, or does Denver? I don't know. Today we feel like I thought it was Denver, but what they did to Tua and company. What are your thoughts on Denver and Indy?
Yeah, you want to talk about an early prop look? I mean, some Daniel Jones unders, if there's any like boost to his prop after just like shredding last week. I mean, anything near 200 is an auto under for me. I mean, I even like 175 might be an under. Like I'm not even gonna lie. I looked at the Cam Ward one last week. I thought about it and I was like, well, he could be a baller. You never know. Maybe he figures it out.
Sure.
Had like a 50-yard or 30-yard screen to Tony Pollard in the first play, and then finished with like 115 yards, something like that. So,
yeah.
I don't know about this game. I don't really know what to do with it. Broncos offense looked awful, but I think in this context, I think that they're a good team. I think they're a better team than the Colts. So probably buying a little bit of a dip there under 3. I think it's kind of interesting. Where are you at on this one?
Yeah, I like Denver quite a bit. I think it's it's a reaction line to, but just a bad Miami team. Right. So we're inflating the Colts based off of that. Look, Denver's defense or Denver's offense did not look good, but I don't think that they're not good. Right. I trust Sean Payton to get it together. And I think this is a nice kind of like buy the dip spot on Denver, not looking sharp. And then, Indy just a little bit inflated off of week 1. So that to me should be at least 3. So I'll take anything under 3 on the Denver side. The 2.5 feels pretty nice. And again, I'm surprised to see we've got some 2s out there. So that means there's been, I think, pro Colts sentiment. And I don't say Shavarius Ward matters, but like I think he matters a little bit. And when they're pretty thin to begin with. They had a rookie they were hoping to start. He got injured in preseason. He's out for the year. So now they're already pretty thin. They had to pull Xavier Howard off the scrap heap to put him in the starting lineup. And now they're missing the other 2 starters. So could be a pretty nice spot for, again, I don't know about volume for Bo Nix, but efficiency for Bo Nix. Like Sutton continues to just kind of be not great, but really good every game, which is pretty interesting. So it could be a nice spot for him too.
He had a nice touchdown. That catch was pretty sick.
But I think he's good.
Who do you think's better?
The ceiling is
Courtland Sutton or Michael Pittman?
I think Courtland Sutton.
I think Courtland Sutton's better, but I don't know. They just remind me of like each other. They just like big body outside receivers who can sometimes get open, come down with contested catches, and that's it. Like they have nothing else in their bag. They're not going to go crazy deep downfield. They're not going to, get open in super short intermediate spaces, but they're just big and they can catch the ball. Then they're out there. That's what
good
reminds me of.
Good target earners, probably like good wide receiver 2s on like a strong offense,
Yeah. Right.
But like actual wide receiver 1 alphas. No. I like both. I'm a Pittman guy. I've been a Pittman guy from the jump. I like them both, right. But let's transition to the Super Bowl rematch. We have, Xavier Worthy injury. It sounds like the update is better than we thought. I don't think we see him for this week. Touched on struggles for Pat Mahomes in week 1. Eagles on the road in Kansas City, about a point or so.
Is there a reason why this game is at 3:25 and not the night game?
No, they like to have those. I like to have those good games in that late window too. But
it's true. I mean, because otherwise, got Broncos, Colts, Panthers, Cardinals, and then that game. So no one's going to be watching other games. But I don't know. I have no idea to do this game. I mean, I don't like either team, to be honest, at this point.
Okay. What are your Eagles' concerns?
I think that their defense looked okay against Dak, but CeeDee Lamb dropped 100 yards of passes basically, and so Dak's stat line looks way better. Otherwise,
there's way more Adoree Jackson than I think anyone in Philadelphia wanted.
Yeah, like I think I don't know. I think the Eagles are good, not great. As not as great as they were last year, like defensively, and so it could expose them in certain scenarios. Is this the right one? The Chiefs are just like, there's no way Worthy plays at this point. Like he's opting to rehab his shoulder and build the muscles around his like shoulder, so that way it like hopefully stays back in place instead of getting surgery right now. But if it doesn't work that well and he's like not strong enough, he's gonna have to get surgery in a couple of weeks. So I think, I mean, he could be good to go in 3 weeks. He could also miss like the whole season basically at this point.
Tough.
Yeah, or maybe not the whole season, but like to the playoffs probably. It would be like the turnaround. And that, I mean, that matters. Like they turned to Hollywood Brown, who like kind of figured it out in the second half.
It wasn't pretty early.
It was so bad. Like they were just like not communicating right, bad throws, bad. Like he was dropping the ball. They figured it out eventually. But like, is that who you want to run your short to intermediate game through? Hollywood Brown? I don't know. I don't know if that's really optimal. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Eagles at the side here. Maybe I just talk myself in Eagles, but I don't really love the Chiefs right now either, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Hurts looked good. I don't know. I thought Hurts looked good. I mean, obviously they didn't get AJ Brown involved, but I think he looked healthier than he did. I think he felt like he was more spry. And I feel like against a Chiefs team, well, both these teams play a lot of man. So I think there's some quarterback rushing prop angles here. In particular, Hurts, more from a volume standpoint than Mahomes can have some splash stuff with turning their back and stuff. But
I forgot to talk about this too, by the way, real quick. So we, over the offseason, I don't know if you remember this, but Jalen Hurts did not attend AJ Brown's like engagement party. Like there was like a picture of everyone, and like Jalen Hurts did not go. And there's been like some rumors of like they kind of had beef and like stuff happened. But then yeah, he like didn't go to like, it was either engagement party or his wedding. It was something like, it was like a big event. And everyone else was seen there. There's like a picture, like all the other crew was there except for Jalen Hurts. So I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't like him. It's possible.
So that's possible. That's some tea, Connor. Some good. I know.
That, I just like, it was a deep pull right there. I just was like thinking about it. And I was like, I was like sitting at a bar watching the game. I know, shocker. And I was like thinking about like, you know what? I remember this something happened in the offseason. So I like did some digging and remembered like, oh yeah, like this is a big deal. But then everyone kind of just like forgot about it.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard that nationally either, which is seems like something we would hear on Skip Bayless yelling about for sure.
Might tweet it out after the show. Honestly, start some drama. I could do like one of the Dove Kleiman tweets. Like.
Yeah.
Maybe make one of those graphics. Those new graphics, by the way, are hilarious, where it'll be like it's just like, it's like one word in all caps that like doesn't make any sense really, or is just like funny in the context.
Fractured friendship
exactly.
on the mend, or is it? So you got to have a screenshot of the wedding picture or whatever you're talking about, and
literally,
like, where is Jalen Hurts?
Yeah. Wow, all caps. It's like an emoji. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to stoop that low, but I'm definitely going to tweet something out. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, please make it a thread so you piss other people off at the same time.
I know some people will get mad for sure.
I like Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a road game. I know that they're not the same team that they were last year in the Super Bowl. That game was not close. I just worry about it's not that I'm worried about Mahomes long term, but I feel like we've crowned him and like we can't move off of it. But it's like, man, I want Mahomes late game, one drive, 90 seconds left. Give me Mahomes. Give me a full game or a full season. Like I kind of want Josh Allen. I kind of want Lamar Jackson. I don't know. I mean, I know that's blasphemous, like to say about Mahomes, but like part of it is the weapons, right? It's not Pete Kelsey. It's not peak Tyreek, right? So now we are in a different season of Mahomes. I don't think Mahomes necessarily has regressed, but I think that it's harder to get it done when, I wanted to see more bursts from Pacheco. I saw way too much Kareem Hunt. I thought that was frustrating. I think it just kind of caps the ceiling of their rushing game. So just a lot of pressure on Mahomes to be kind of perfect to elevate Tyquan Thornton and Juju Smith-Schuster. Like that's not great.
Yeah, no, I thought Pacheco looked okay. He just didn't get much work. Like it was just a lot of Kareem Hunt. Like I thought his burst looked way better than like end of the year last year where he was just looking at, slug out there. But yeah, there are a lot of concerns offensively. I mean, Herbert kind of lit up the Chiefs defense at times. You know, like, I mean, it's like, what do we think that that's like going to stick? I think a lot of the stuff that the Chargers had success with, like some of the, you know, crossers and like drag routes and getting like QJ in space, and then like some miscommunications there. Chiefs run D, I think, is still probably pretty good. Yeah. And so, but again, it's like against the Eagles and Saquon. So like, I don't even know how much a matchup really matters that much. Like they're still going to be probably pretty efficient no matter what.
Yeah. And again, like I thought that Jalen Hurts, like health wise, I thought he looked significantly better. And if he becomes a more efficient and effective runner, they dial up more design stuff for him. Again, against the Chiefs team that annually plays among the highest rate of man coverage in the league, there's going to be some opportunities for Hurts on the ground here, even if they're not clicking in the passing game. So feels like a nice bounce back spot for that passing game too. But overall, I mean, I think Hurts had one of the highest pass rate over expectations. I mean, completion percentage over expectations for the week. So, yeah, he was efficient with the stuff that he got done. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Concerns about Brock Bowers, his health, his usage. I mean, he's still really, really, really good. Geno was awesome. I think they led the league in most 20-yard completions for the week. Maybe they were behind Baltimore, but it was close. But like they were really good. Any concerns about Brock Bowers this one Monday Night Football against the Chargers?
Well, there was some weird like snap stuff early too. Like some of the preseason usage carried over, right? To like them playing, you know, just like 11 and like him not really being included in some of that stuff, and which is definitely concerning. But when you're throwing that much, he was getting wide open. I mean, I don't know. He's an absolute. He's so good. Like it was just like every time, you know, red zone would cut back to it, it would be like, you know, 30-yard catch, you know, whatever, and it'd be like, okay, you know, it's just like Bowers is just the man. So I don't have too much honestly to add, other than like, yeah, it's a little banged up. It seems like, yeah, the snap count stuff was a little weird, but he's still really, really, really good. So I imagine he's just going to continue to be used, like maybe not at elite tight end level for some reason, but I mean, the upside is there every game because he's just really good.
Yeah, I think he is special. We got 2 Monday Night Football games this week, which I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like the stagger, although it's actually staggered by a solid 3 hours. So it kind of is. Like it. Yeah. I mean, I'd like it if it wasn't my wife's birthday. Otherwise I'm down.
Yeah. You going to Maria's?
We're going out for dinner for sure. I told her we get home, don't talk to me. Like I'm behind. I get 2 games to watch. But dinner, I'm all yours. But yeah, we gotta do something. So, but you know, this is actually different. I feel like in years past there was like an hour staggered. But this is the full 3. We got
3 hours. Yeah, actually, I don't like that. I kind of like having 2 games on at the same time, like an hour and a half, like halftime, the other one game, and then you get the other game. I don't know. That seems more fun.
I kind of agree. I mean, because the way you set it out too, it's late. It's a late start.
Who's watching this? I mean, people on the East Coast might just be asleep before the game even starts.
It's a 10 o'clock start in the East Coast. Like that's East Coast dads. JJ's, you get the tweet ready, JJ. Like that's, you know, it's lined up easy for you.
Someone needs to have a talk with these NFL schedule makers and decision makers. I mean, this is just that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it should be we also have 8:30 best, like worst case.
Yeah, we also have the dreaded 9-3 split on Sunday.
Again,
why do you do it? Like why? Never do 9-3. Like that's so dumb. And then when you make one of them, you know, Philly, Kansas City, like it's so frustrating. Again, I got the 2 TVs in the quad box. It's an 8 I can do. I got to start to bring in the laptop for a game. Like that's, come on. And then I got to go quad box with 3 games. I got to put in the red zone. And I got 2 games at the same time. It's so stupid. Figure this out. There's no reason to ever do 9-3.
Yeah.
And again, we're going to get a couple weeks here pre-buy where we're going to get, you know, 10-4 or whatever we're going to get, which sucks as well. So whatever it is. The last injury note that I want to make note of here, both Rams guards, Steve Avila, Kevin Dotson, sprained their ankles.
Okay.
No, that's not great. I don't know if they're going to miss time, but you know, on the road in Tennessee, we were talking about that earlier, in the context of Cam Ward. But I don't know. Jeffrey Simmons is still a game wrecker in the middle. You get a team playing with a dinged up center and maybe with a backup guard or 2. That's a little tricky to monitor. I would monitor that one before you jump on any pro Ram stuff. So
yeah, that's not ideal. Maybe the under in that game is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I remember looking at it early in the season, and again, kudos to what Tennessee did in week 1. They definitely got more pressure than I was expecting that they would get on Bo Nix. But the worst quarterback in the league under pressure last year, from a PFF grade, adjusted completion percentage, was Matthew Stafford. So interested to see what happens there. I mean, Puka's we got the full Puka car wash on week 1 too. Just absolute machine, fed, left the game, comes back in, catches another ball, leaves the game, comes back. It's like, this is Puka. Like, he's just, absolutely awesome. Questionable 3 times a game.
He got a cut above his head, and like it was like, looked like he was like bleeding out of his eye. So it was like, as the blood was like dripping.
Big old patch.
Yeah. And then he get the patch, and so then like he kept getting wrecked in the head too. I was like, dude, this is like rough. And it was like he would come up and he kind of was like squinting and stuff. I'm like, is anyone home in there? Like, is he okay? I mean, he toughed it out again, just like Puka does.
Yeah, I was way underweight in Puka in like best ball drafts or any season long, or I didn't want any Puka. Not because he's not awesome, but because it's just terrified of him missing, a game or two, because he just hates to run out of bounds. And for some reason, he just always takes these massive shots. So good. He can just stay on the field. But the other, I guess, Andrew Thomas for the Giants. That injury news I would want before making a move. I do think the Giants +6 is a little interesting.
Really?
I mean, look, I mean, I feel like we're overrating Dallas a little bit. I think they were solid. I also think it's not to the degree in which Minnesota is tricky to plan for, but Dan Quinn also plays kind of a unique style of defense. And like Russ looked terrible. I'm not going to make any excuses there, but I do think Andrew Thomas really matters. Part of it was they got so much pressure, and Dallas, I think, is going to continue to struggle to get pressure. So if they can't get pressure any rate close to what Washington was able to, and Russ isn't as bad, I think the Dallas cornerback situation, they're both like gamblers on the outside. Deron Bland and Diggs love to take shots. I don't know. I think 6 is a lot for a team that has a pretty good defense, and I think it'd be problematic in what they could do against Dak too. So again, I would want Andrew Thomas to be active, but I think 6 is a pretty good look for the Giants.
Your bags being packed on Russell Wilson won't be that bad is that's a tough sell. I mean, I think there are definitely some defensive mismatches. Like the Giants should probably get some pressure on Dak. Maybe the Giants or maybe the Dallas defense is not good enough or anywhere near what the Commanders brought. I don't know. I just have very little faith. I think the Dallas offense might just drop a hefty number on the Giants here on the back end. So if you get the ball out quick, like Pickens basically took the night off half the day. I think that, which I don't know. He was against Quinyon Mitchell most of the time, wasn't he? It was like, and he should have caught that deep one actually, to be honest, but it was a PI. So I think his box score looks a lot different. If he catches that without a PI, and it's probably a touchdown too if he doesn't get held. So I don't know. I think it's kind of, I want to keep buying the Cowboys passing offense. I think this could be another good opportunity to do it. So I don't know if I'm ready to play the 6, but I would lean Cowboys personally. Just I want to keep fading the Giants with Russ. I mean, he's terrible.
Just let Jackson Dart cook. We get in there and whole new world in the Giants. Whole new world of optimism. Any other sides and totals you want to highlight before we can touch on any Thursday night football stuff before we wrap?
Let's see here. I think Bucks Texans under 42.5 is interesting. Nick Caley in his first go around for the Texans offensive coordinator did not look good. Nico Collins usage was, a complete and utter disaster. I don't know if you saw the little next gen stats, squiggly chart or whatever. Total shit show. O-line didn't look good. Running game didn't look good. CJ Stroud didn't look good. All just, big red flags. And then the Bucs side, one of their lowest success rates offensively. Yes, they won, but they didn't look good at all offensively. And so, it was just 2 Emeka Egbuka plays that saved their game, basically.
Dimes. Baker. Dimes.
Total rip. Yeah. Which is, that can get it done. But again, the Texans defense is really good. So
really good. Yep. You're right.
So I think under 42.5 there is pretty interesting. And then I'm gonna be with you on this one. I think Pat's money line is a good look here against the Dolphins.
Let's go. Bury these Dolphins. Like they got their shitty secondary is beat up already. Like, what are we doing here? So I don't overreact, but I think it's an important spot for New England to get it done. It's a tough spot. Warm weather in September is a little tricky down in Miami, but yeah, I like the Pats as well. So yeah, there's also offensive line injuries to Houston as well. To your point, back on the Bucs, interior offensive line an injury riddled question shuffling roles along that offensive line to begin with. So I definitely want to get a sense of what that is. But yeah, I think the under is probably a pretty good look. So yeah, Thursday Night Football, Commanders, Packers, basically 3.5, right? Is kind of, I think, where we're still at, which I think is interesting. Again, based off of, I think, preseason priors, total there's 47.5, 48. There's some 48.5s. So depending, shop around a little bit too. Share sharp stack or any anything popping here. What do we got?
Yeah, may as well. Yeah, just popped the EV tool. So again, taking the sharp markets against weak markets here. We got Tucker Craft receptions under 3.5, -165 at Hard Rock. 2.5 pretty widely here for the most part in the market. I don't mind that one at all. I'm not sure how much volume they're going to get. I still got to do a deeper dive into this game. Usually now is when I start doing some deep dive player prop analysis here. Josh Jacobs under receptions is another one popping. A lot of stuff on Hard Rock. I mean, it's not that surprising. Jaden Daniels rushing yards, 48.5 rushing yards. I mean, this number by MGM is a good 5 yards higher than the rest of the market. So I don't think that's a bad look. Again, you can probably bet it. It'll probably be back to the market, and then you can bet it somewhere else on the over if you want to buy back and get a middle maybe. Yep. Eckler receiving yards under is popping here. I kind of like the over on his receptions, to be honest, at 2.5. We're seeing that here on the prop screen. That was something that stood out to me. 2.5, -120-ish here, -125 I'm seeing. So he had 3 receptions last week. He's very clearly the receiving back. I think he played most of the first quarter. Bill looked really good, but
he did.
I mean, I don't think they're going to use him a ton in the receiving game. I think we're going to still see a bunch of Eckler. And if the Packers can push the Commanders, Eckler could have a 6-catch, 7-catch game like we saw in the playoffs for him. So either that was pretty interesting. That could be an interesting ceiling look for a guy like him.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't
been working for us.
Catches? Did Gibbs just have 10 catches against the Packers last week too?
Yeah, 10 catches. Just check down city garbage time. So yeah, I mean, we're lucky to get there with the 3 for 31 last week on Eckler a little bit, considering the game script. But I think to your point, if could be a very different game script. I like the Packers. I mean,
okay,
I've questions about Commanders defense to begin with, and look, the injury report for the Packers right now is not great, but some teams just put a bunch of guys on there, but I think everyone's probably going to play. I think Zach Toms is the one that would concern me the most, but I don't know. I feel like this is a spot where if the Packers are who I think that they are, and we saw instantaneously the Micah effect is real, right? It's not just necessarily great players, especially in this scenario along the defensive line. It's not just what they do, it's how they create opportunities for everyone else. And we saw, Devontae Wynn on the inside, and we saw Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary. All these other guys were able to work a little bit more freely because of what Micah creates. I think he's going to be a massive impact. So I like the spot. I think if the Packers are who we think they are, they should be able to take advantage by, again, a number that's under 4 at home against the Commanders. So I'm on the Packers here for sure.
Yep, I like it as well. I think that's probably a good look. No other real prop looks for me in this one, I don't think. Other than Debo looked like kind of the guy, honestly, early, which is not that surprising. Matthew Golden down at 34 yards is pretty interesting. He didn't run a ton of routes though after some encouraging preseason usage. And then rushing yard wise, Bill drops at 41.5. Jacobs at 78.5. I mean, just an absolute workhorse. Had 19 of 22 carries, basically, or something like that for
what's his anytime touchdown? I feel like Josh Jacobs just scores every week.
Let's see here. Josh Jacobs. Did I miss him already? Let's see here. No, these are all Washington players. Okay. Yeah, -200. You gonna bet that?
It's crazy. No, but I'm like, it's gonna start with a minus, but I was curious what it is.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's wild.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, that's Either way, a lot of fun stuff on the EV tool to check out. I ripped a bunch of random bets. Get a Romo Dunze over 3.5 catches yesterday.
Yes,
at like
sir.
minus 110 on profit. That was great. Obviously, that panned out. Like it just like it's been fun adding this to our arsenal because I've just like add a bunch of extra stuff to our official plays we released with the picks package. And it's going well so far. I think I'm up like, I don't know, $2,000 or something like that so far through week one. I don't know. I got to check my Pickett little thing there, but overall, solid week one.
Yeah, no, I like like you said, it's a nice little supplement to what we were doing originally, and absolutely loving it. Just keep it open on one screen and check it, refresh it, make sure we're good, make sure we're not missing anything, and yeah, it's great. So again, if you're seeing this for the first time, check it out. Go to 4for4.com/plans. 7-day free trial for SharpStack. You can use promo code MTL. If you decide you want to buy it, again, that's going to get you 25% off, which is a fantastic deal. And again, it gets you access to literally everything we have on the site. So rankings, tools, articles, projections, picks, all of it. So great resource. And again, what I love too is the middles on the odd screens. You can go through the odd screens and finding, best odds. You're going to find some, you use the ARB tool and lock in the profit. But the middle opportunities on the odd screen as well, when you're looking at the prop stuff, is like, interesting. You could find some spots where, especially when like they're lower numbers, like where in terms of distribution, you could really be opening up some opportunities in the middle section. So yeah, lots of different ways to use it. And yeah, the odd screens are clean. Love it. Check it out. SharpStack, 4for4.com/plans. Let us know if you have any questions. Happy to answer anything for you. And again, we're putting the results in there too, right? So we're telling on ourselves, how well is it doing? It's right there in the tab for you to be able to look at and check out. So check it out. All right, buddy. Anything else?
Honestly, not really. I think we went through some of the other like potential prop looks already with like just in the games, added them in there. Yep. Went through SharpStack. I think that's about it.
Love it. So move the line wherever you listen to podcasts. 4for4 live on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a show. Again, we're going to be here doing this every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Prop drop's going to be on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, again, with High Slop giving out a couple prop looks from each of us. $1 million parlays. We had some I forgot to share some of my uncorrelated stuff from last week. Yep. Hopefully mix in some defensive props. It was a good spot for Alec Pierce last week. We had Terry McLaurin last week. I had my notes. Those are really nice uncorrelated spots. We're going to make sure we highlight those next week. So smash the subscribe and like before you take off. Appreciate it. For Connor, I'm Ryan. We'll see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.